After leaving the cafeteria, Adam traveled the university corridors. He was feeling countless eyes upon him. The video of his public apology to Ava was spreading like wildfire, and the students' curious stares only intensified his humiliation. His once pristine reputation had crumbled within seconds. In a low murmur, Adam uttered, "Ava Lim, I will not leave you." Reaching his uncle Professor Osama Saeed's cabin, Adam hastily swung the door open. Inside, Professor Saeed, a 45-year-old man known for his handsomeness and popularity among female students. He was engrossed in checking students' papers. Professor Saeed glanced up at Adam's unexpected entrance, asking, "What happened, nephew? You don't usually come here." He told Adam to take a sit. Instead of taking a seat, Adam closed the door and removed his shirt to reveal a shocking display of wounds covering his torso. Each mark, ranging in hues from angry reds to deep purples and blues. All wounds tell a story of merciless beatings delivered by a heavy rod. Professor Saeed was taken aback. He stood up and inquired, "Who did this? Were you in another fight with the boys?" Adam clenched his fist. "No, uncle. Some men came out of nowhere when I was in the boys' bathroom, and they started to beat me brutally." Concerned, Professor Saeed asked, "Who are they?" Adam replied, "Bodyguards of Ava. Less than greater than. 01. Professor Saeed furrowed his brow, trying to recall Ava. It was tough for a professor only to remember one student. But he knew a student named Ava Lim had recently married Ibrahim Rahman. He questioned, Ava Lim, wife of Ibrahim Rahman?" Adam nodded. His frustration was evident. He then asked, "Who is this Ibrahim Rahman?" Now Professor Saeed was looking visibly angered. He took off his glasses, running his hand through his hair. "People know Ibrahim Rahman as a famous businessman, but he is more than that. He is the head of the underworld." Adam also got shocked. "No wonder why I got beaten so brutally. Even they forced me to apologize in front of Ava." Professor Saeed paused for a moment, then asked, "What did he do with Ava?" Adam admitted, "I just asked Ava for a coffee date." But Professor Saeed was displeased by Adam's answer. "Adam, you're not such a nice guy to simply talk to girls." Slamming his hand on the desk, he pressed Adam to reveal the full story. Adam sighed, realizing he had to confess his actions to his uncle. Adam could proudly tell his actions in front of his friends, but in front of Uncle, it was a bit challenging. I just held Ava's hand for a second, but she quickly withdrew it." Professor Saeed shook his head, warning Adam about the consequences. "Now Ibrahim Rahman won't let you live. Crossing paths with Ava Lim means facing the anger of Ibrahim Rahman." Adam took a seat and asked, "The guards have already beaten me. I only held Ava's hand for a second." Professor Saeed playfully tapped Adam's head with a pen, causing Adam to exclaim, "Ouch, uncle." Professor Saeed couldn't believe Adam was this such a fool. "Can't you see that the guards only beat your body? There are no marks on your face." But Adam got no clue. "So what?" Professor Saeed gritted his teeth. "The guards didn't touch your face because Ava and other students shouldn't know that you're apologizing forcefully." 01. Adam's mouth fell open. He cursed under his breath. Now what should he do? 01. "I'm booking a flight for you tomorrow. Leave as soon as possible. for now at least," Professor Saeed replied. Ava's heels clicked on the polished marble floor as she walked towards Ibrahim's office. It was located on the 4th floor of the Rahman Enterprise. She approached the door marked with "I Rahman." It was not the first time she came in Ibrahim's office. She knocked softly before turning the handle and stepping inside. Ibrahim raised an eyebrow at Ava's unannounced entrance. He was busy with his laptop. "Ava, you're here." Not wasting any time, Ava approached towards his desk and posed her question, "Did you do something to Adam?" Ibrahim closed the laptop and leaned on his chair. He gestured to the seat beside Ava, silently inviting her to sit. Ava complied. "Tell me now," Ava pressed. "Is that why you came here?" Ibrahim asked. He was looking calm as always. Ava nodded. "I don't trust you. What if you did something to make Adam apologize in front of everyone?" Ibrahim shook his head dismissively. "I don't know anything about Adam. I told the guards to teach a lesson if someone harasses you. Maybe they told Adam to apologize." Ava replied. She didn't see any wound on Adam too. He was looking fine. Perhaps he was really scared of the guards, so he apologized to her. A shrewd smile crossing his face, Ibrahim noticed Ava lost in thought. "What are you thinking? Maybe the guards only scolded Adam, but—" Ava paused for a moment then continued, "Adam just needed a good beating. He harasses many girls in the university, but no one complains because his uncle is a professor in our university." But she wasn't aware that her wish was fulfilled already and there was more to come. "Don't take pressure. The boy Adam won't do anything. I trust my guards," Ibrahim told. Ava raised an eyebrow. "How many guards protect me in the university? I never see them. They don't come in front of me." Ibrahim maintained his nonchalance. He acted as if he didn't know. But after thinking he told, Five guards. What's going on? Why so many guards? In the university and even outside my apartment?" Ava's curiously asked. But Ibrahim was not going to share the threats of Rafi Ahmed. "No, baby girl," he reassured, "I just want to keep you safe. I don't know about others but I just want to be safe from you." Ava mumbled under her breath. Ibrahim also acted like he didn't heard Ava's voice. Ava stood up to leave. But a sudden recollection stopped her in her tracks. Last night's orchestrated hallucination and the unexpected kiss on her forehead. Oh no, how could she let that pass without retaliation? "Why are you smiling like that? Am I looking extra handsome today?" Ibrahim sensed Ava's internal conflict, but he had no idea about it. Ava rolled her eyes. "I brought something for you." And the mischievous glint in her eyes hinted at her secret plan. Couldn't contain her excitement as she pulled out the small packet from her backpack. The mischievous glint in her eyes hinted at a plan. "I brought something for you, Mr. Rahman." Ibrahim raised his eyebrow. "What is it, baby girl?" Ava revealed the hair removal wax strips from the small bags. Though Ibrahim was unfamiliar with the beauty product, "Is this some new skincare trend?" Ava seized the opportunity. "Oh, it's the latest beauty secret. Extend your hand, I'll show you." She now told in serious manner that Ibrahim couldn't catch her. Trusting Ava's every move, Ibrahim extended his hand. He really thought it was a kind of cream which came in these strips for emergency uses. Ava applied the wax strip to his hand, giving him a false sense of comfort. As she pressed down the strip, she looked at Ibrahim and said, "This is a magical cream. It'll make your hand super smooth." Ibrahim, blissfully ignorant, replied, "Well, I've never said no to smooth hands." She maintained an air of innocence, hiding her amusement as she prepared for the grand reveal. Suddenly, she yanked the strip off, not sparing any mercy, leaving Ibrahim's hand not only hairless but also in considerable pain. The sensation hit him like a shockwave, and his reaction was nothing short of theatrical. "Ah, what in the world is that?" Ibrahim yelped. His pain-filled outburst echoed in the room. And Ava couldn't contain her laughter. "Surprise, surprise, Mr. Rahman. That's what you get for your little surprise last night." He clutched his now hairless hand, eyes wide with disbelief. What in the world was that? It felt like taking a bullet. Seeing Ibrahim in pain, Ava was really enjoying. "Oh no, Mr. Rahman, we can't have one hairy arm and one hairless arm. It won't look good. Now, give me the other hand." Ibrahim was still recovering from the shock of the first wax strip. "No more of that torture, Ava. One hair removal session is more than enough for today." He was still nursing his hand. Ava tilted her head, pretending to consider it, but then shook it dramatically. "Oh no, Mr. Rahman, we need both arms to match. This is your punishment." Ibrahim sighed in defeat, muttering under his breath, "Never thought I'd be tortured like this." As Ava prepared the next strip, Ibrahim braced himself for the impending pain. Ava swiftly applied the strip and, with a determined pull, removed the hair from Ibrahim's other hand. The room once again echoed with Ibrahim's exclamation of pain, and Ava couldn't contain her laughter. "I never thought I'd see the day when a tough Mafia boss like you would be defeated by a wax strip," she teased. Ibrahim looked at his hairless hand. The area has transformed into red color, and his hand was really burning. "You really enjoy torturing me, don't you?" Ava grinned. "Consider it a lesson, Mr. Rahman. No more unauthorized kisses or you might find yourself waxed in unexpected places." Ibrahim managed a smirk. "Lesson learned, baby girl. But you didn't have to go to such extremes." "Oh, I think it was just the right amount of extreme. Besides, you've got to admit, it's a memorable revenge." Ava stood and threw those used strips in the dustbin. "Memorable, indeed. I won't forget this anytime soon." He flexed his hand, still feeling the sting. Who had thought this Mafia would torture like this? Ava retorted, "Now you might think twice before messing with me." Samir's laptop screen illuminated his face as he worked on his plans. It was midnight, but as a brother of a Mafia businessman he had many works to do. His fingers tapped rhythmically on his laptop. The phone vibrated. It was a call from Azman, Ibrahim's assistant. Samir answered with a curt, "Yes." "Samir sir, I tried reaching Ibrahim sir earlier, but his phone was off." "I thought maybe he's busy," Azman respectfully informed. "It's possible. Ibrahim is always occupied. What's the matter?" Samir replied while focusing on his laptop. Azman told, "Sir, the informant has spilled the details to Alara, just as we anticipated." Samir leaned back in his chair, a hint of satisfaction in his eyes. Good. Now, take the next step. Eliminate the informant, but make it seem like he did it to himself. We want it to look like a suicide. Then Alara will stop to interfere in our matters. Understood, sir. I'll ensure it's clean and untraceable. Asman told. Samir leaned back in his chair. He was no longer working on his laptop now, but he was looking at the screen. And you have only 2 days to get this done. With that, Samir ended the call. He was satisfied. It was time for Alara to step back, to realize that meddling in their affairs would only lead to consequences. He attempted to call Ibrahim, but the call went unanswered, the phone on the other end switched off. A similar fate awaited his attempt to reach Faisal. When both Ibrahim and Faisal's phones are off simultaneously, it's a clear sign that someone is losing his life. Samir stood up from the chair and switched off the bedside lamp. He needed sleep now. Alara's phone rang loudly, breaking the silence of the night. He glanced at the screen, recognizing it as an emergency call from the station. What now? He muttered to himself as he answered the call. 01. Officer Lim, there's a large fire reported at the Crimson Lounge. We need you on the scene immediately, the dispatcher relayed the urgent information. Alara's eyes widened, and he snapped into action. I'm on my way. But there was a problem. It was 2 a.m. and he couldn't leave Ava alone. And recently there was a robbery in the neighborhood. Even with Ibrahim's guards stationed outside, an undercurrent of doubt lingered in Alara's mind, a police officer's instinct that trusts no one completely. Alara thought about Farah, but it was an ungodly hour to disturb her. No, it was not an option. Then Alara's thoughts turned to Ibrahim, whom he hated so much. Alara rose up from the bed and dialed Ibrahim's number. In the meantime he started getting ready in his navy blue police uniform. Ibrahim received the phone. Without listening anything, Alara declared, "Reach here in 5 minutes. I'm heading to a scene." With that, Alara cut the call. He didn't even listen if Ibrahim was saying something. Alara knew it was only Ava and Alara's right to cut the call on Ibrahim. After some moments, Ibrahim reached and knocked on the door. The door swung open, revealing Alara, ready in his police uniform. Ibrahim raised an eyebrow at Alara's attire. "What's the emergency?" Alara cut to the chase. "Don't wake Ava. She slept late." Ibrahim smirked. "You're wearing that uniform for protection, and you trust her safety to someone you can't stand." Alara shot him a pointed look. "I trust you when it comes to her safety. Say what you will, but you won't hurt your own wife." Ibrahim feigned a gasp. "Am I hearing right? Alara Lim admitting he needs my help." Alara rolled his eyes. "Just give me your car key. My bike is punctured." Ibrahim chuckled. What happened to the mighty police officer and his trusty bike? Alara grumbled. "True, punched right when I needed it. Now, keys." Ibrahim handed over the key with a sly smile. "Take care of it, it's more expensive than your bike." Alara shot back, "Or I might accidentally lose it." Alara arrived at the Crimson Lounge to a scene of chaos. Once a symbol of luxury, now stood ablaze. Smoke billowed into the night sky, creating a chaotic scene of destruction. Firefighters raced against time, their hoses spraying water in a desperate attempt to quell the flames that leaped from window to window. The heat was intense, and the crackling of the flames filled the air. Alara approached a group of firefighters, Detective Lim, KL Police. "What's the situation?" "The fire started in the kitchen. We're doing our best to contain it, but it's proving difficult," one firefighter responded. Alara nodded, scanning the area. He could see the building's structure weakening under the assault of the flames. Sirens wailed in the background as emergency vehicles crowded the streets. Police officers were creating a perimeter, trying to keep the onlookers at a safe distance. Alara also joined the team. Police Captain Hamim, a stout man with graying hair, approached Alara. "Inferno on the 4th floor. It's been spreading fast." "Inferno on the 4th floor. It's been spreading fast. There's a risk of further explosions. We need to evacuate the surrounding buildings." Not only Alara, both police officers went to evacuate the next buildings. As the police, a sudden blast shook the building. The shockwave reverberated through the air. The blast created a momentary fireball that painted the night sky with hues of orange and red. Debris shattered remnants, ascended like fiery confetti. Less than greater than 01. The incident intensified their already challenging battle against the flames. Radios crackled with anxious calls for reinforcements and updates on the evolving situation. "We've got structural damage on the 4th floor. I repeat, structural damage. We need additional support, over." "Copy that. Sending in the backup team now. Hold your positions, everyone. We're working on diverting more water to your location. Focus on the west side. We can't let it spread further into the building. Use the foam on those stubborn flames. Need more hoses on the south side. The wind's making it tough to control the spread. Keep the evacuation routes clear. We don't want any casualties. Prioritize the rescue team for anyone trapped inside." Firefighters' voices muffled by protective masks. It became a tough night for them. The sound of water streams intensified as they aimed to quell the ever-hungry flames. The night surrendered to the approaching dawn. The scene at the Crimson Lounge shifted. The once roaring flames had been subdued, leaving behind a smoky aftermath. The acrid scent of charred wood and melted materials lingered in the air. Police investigators combed through the debris-strewn landscape. Yellow tape marked the perimeter, signifying the area under investigation. Police Captain Hamim briefed Alara on the preliminary findings. "It seems the fire originated in the kitchen. Possible gas leak or faulty equipment. The rapid spread caught everyone off guard. We're treating it as an accident for now." Alara responded, "Accident or not, lives were lost. Any signs of foul play?" Hamim shook his head, "No signs yet. The firefighters are still working to cool down the hotspots, and our forensic team is on their way. We'll get to the bottom of this." The remnants of furniture and decorations lay twisted and charred, a testament to the intense heat that had engulfed the lounge. Debris from the upper floors had collapsed, creating a hazardous landscape. 01. A young officer approached Alara and Captain Hamim. "Sir, we've accounted for over 20 casualties. The final count is still pending. We'll notify families once we confirm identities." Alara sighed. Ava stirred in her sleep, the soft rustle of sheets accompanying her gradual awakening. As her eyes fluttered open, she found Ibrahim seated in the chair near the window. And the morning lights were coming through the curtains. His posture was relaxed, one leg crossed over the other, leaning back with an air of ease. The chair seemed almost molded to his form. She furrowed her brow, momentarily disoriented, her gaze locking onto Ibrahim. "Why are you here?" Ava asked with her sleepy voice. "Good morning, baby girl," Ibrahim greeted, his eyes briefly meeting hers before he resumed his contemplative gaze out the window. Ava was now more awake and alert. "What are you doing here?" "Alara went to Crimson Lounge late at night. There was a fire last night. You'd be alone, so he called me," Ibrahim replied. Ava's eyes widened in alarm. "Fire? Is Alara okay?" Ibrahim's smirk appeared. "Your brother is fine, Ava. He is made of iron." Ava shook her head and sat on the bed. The soft warmth of the blanket draped over her lap. A soft yawn escaped from her mouth. Her long hair fell over her back. While securing her hair with a clip, Ava asked, "Did you sit on that chair the whole night?" Ibrahim's attention seemed fixed on her hair. "Yes, I watched you sleep the whole night," he replied with a casual tone. His fascination with her hair seemed to grow with time. Ava quickly diverted her eyes from Ibrahim and looked elsewhere. It wasn't a new experience for her. Ibrahim's intense gaze had become a familiar, albeit uncomfortable, presence. She glanced at Ibrahim again, only to find his gaze unshakable. Ava expressed her frustration. "God knows when you'll stop looking at me like this." Ibrahim's response was short and swift, "Never." Ava felt a gulp catch in her throat, the weight of his words sinking in. However, a more immediate concern crossed her mind, the need to use the bathroom. But she was wearing shorts. She clenched the blanket which was on her lap. Wearing shorts and facing Ibrahim was not an option she considered. In Rahman Mansion, she always adhered to safe clothing: full trousers, full sleeves. But here in her apartment she wanted to sleep peacefully at night. The newfound freedom in her apartment was marred by Ibrahim's unexpected presence. She hesitated to leave the security of the blanket. She didn't want to give him any opportunity to see her body. Ava cleared her throat and in a sweet tone, she asked, "Will you do a favor for me?" Ibrahim arched his brow, a silent invitation for her to continue. Ava adopted a cute demeanor. "Please make a cup of coffee for me." Ibrahim was slightly amused. "Coffee? And you're telling me to make coffee?" Ava nodded with a playful smile. Ibrahim sighed. "For you, I can do anything." Ibrahim stood up and turned towards the kitchen. He felt like a storm had just swept through the room behind him. Ibrahim turned only to find Ava missing, and he heard the distinct sound of the bathroom door locking. Another sigh escaped Ibrahim's lips. In the world of Ibrahim Rahman, where trust was a rare commodity, Ava held the power to playfully deceive him. Shaking his head with a hint of a smile, Ibrahim proceeded towards the kitchen. Was engrossed in the TV news, which showcased the aftermath of the devastating fire at the Crimson Lounge. Images of the once luxurious establishment engulfed in flames filled the screen. Ibrahim entered the room, carrying 2 cups of coffee. He handed one to Ava before settling on the single sofa beside her. Both of them turned their attention to the TV. The Crimson Lounge, a popular spot in the city, turned into a site of tragedy last night. The fire, which started in the kitchen, rapidly spread, claiming the lives of more than 38 people, and the count is still rising as rescue efforts continue. Ava was listening the news with great concentration. The news was showing all the scenes of last night. Images of firefighters battling the flames and rescuing survivors played across the screen. The Crimson Lounge became highlight of every news channel. Ibrahim, on the other hand, blew air on his coffee to cool it down, his eyes alternating between the TV screen and Ava. There was a villainous smile on his face, an odd satisfaction evident in his eyes. It was as if, in that moment, the bitter taste of the coffee held a unique flavor of triumph for him. The news continued to display the names of the deceased individuals. Sipping her coffee, Ava suddenly froze as she noticed two familiar names, Adam Saeed and Amir Hassan. The cup slipped from her hand, but Ibrahim swiftly caught it before it could hit her legs, sacrificing his own hand to prevent the hot liquid from spilling onto Ava. Despite the coffee burning his hand, Ibrahim didn't show any signs of pain. "Are you all right?" But Ava didn't respond, her mouth agape and her eyes fixed on the TV screen. Ibrahim out the cups on the tea table. Concerned, he placed his hand on Ava's shoulder and gently shook her. "Ava, what happened? Why have you become like a stone? Less than greater than. Oh one." In a mumbled voice, Ava uttered, Adam, Amir died. They died in the fire. Oh one. Amir were Adam's good friend. And both were famous for bad boy. They were not Ava's friends. In fact, she despised them. Yet, the news of their death hit her hard, causing her to breathe faster. Ibrahim switched off the TV remote. He attempted to comfort her. "Calm down, baby girl. Everything will be all right. Everyone will die in a way." However, Ava remained fixated on the screen. She continued, "You know, Ibrahim, Amir and Adam were infamous in their university for all the wrong reasons. They bullied newcomers, behaved poorly with professors and senior students. They had all the qualities of troublesome students. But this kinda death. It's really painful." The realization of the agony someone might feel while burning sent shivers down her spine. Despite the enmity, the gruesome nature of their death struck a chord within her. No one should receive this kind of painful death, but God knows the best. Ibrahim patted on Ava's shoulder, as if he is displaying a rare gesture of sympathy. The act was almost convincing, portraying an image of a caring husband offering support. However, the underlying truth remained: Ibrahim was not one to feel genuine sympathy, especially in this case. His act was a mere facade. He cared for Ava so much, but in here he was not showing his true intentions. And Ava, lost in her own thoughts, momentarily forgot that her husband's hand rested on her shoulder. If she had noticed, her reaction might have been quite different. The police station was a hive of activity, with officers moving purposefully between desks, shuffling through documents, and discussing the ongoing investigation into the Crimson Lounge fire. Alara sat at his desk, surrounded by a sea of papers and case files. Captain Hamim approached Alara. He leaned over Alara's cluttered desk, studying the reports spread before them. "Alara, how's the investigation going?" Hamim inquired. Alara, his brow furrowed, looked up from the files. "It's challenging, Captain. Everything points to it being an accident. Nodding thoughtfully, Captain Hamim responded, kitchen fires are quite common. Any signs of foul play? Alara shook his head, frustration evident in his expression. None so far. We've interviewed survivors, but their statements align with a typical fire accident. Captain Hamim leaned in, offering a piece of advice. We can't afford any missteps, especially with a high-profile incident like this. Keep digging, Alara. Alara replied, I'll do my best, Captain. But something doesn't add up. We need to consider all possibilities. Captain Hamim cautioned him, accidents happen. Don't let your personal feelings cloud your judgment. Focus on the evidence. Despite the captain's advice, Alara couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the incident than met the eye. As he delved deeper into the investigation, his colleagues were engrossed in various tasks, meticulously examining every piece of evidence. Some officers scrutinized witness statements, confirming that there was no unusual activity before the fire. Others focused on the physical aspects, analyzing the point of origin and collaborating with firefighters to understand the blaze's dynamics. Officer 1. Reviewing the report, it's consistent with an accidental fire. No signs of accelerants. Officer 2. Witnesses confirm there was no unusual activity before the fire broke out. Alara overheard their conversation but remained unconvinced. He continued to examine the data, hoping to find a clue that would unravel the mystery. Alara, thinking aloud, there has to be a connection we're missing. Officer 3. Skeptical. Alara, accidents happen. Not every disaster is a conspiracy. Alara, determined. I know, but this feels different. I can't ignore the gut feeling that there's more to this story. In her cozy room, Farah scrolled through the group chats. The messages were flooding in, all discussing the tragic incident at the Crimson Lounge. She picked up a banana from the bunch on her table and started reading. Chat member 1. OMG, Amir and Adam are gone. Crying. Chat member 2. No way. How did it happen? Chat member 3. It was in the news. Fire at Crimson Lounge. Farah took a bite of her banana, savoring the sweetness as she continued scrolling. Chat member 4. Voice note: bro, I can't believe they're gone. We had some crazy times together. Chat member 5. Text: Amir owed me 500 ringgit. Now what? Who is gonna pay me? Farah chuckled at the financial concern amidst the tragedy. She shook her head and peeled another banana. Chat member 6. Text: honestly, not gonna miss those troublemakers. Chat member 7. Text: rip Adam and Amir. Gone too soon. Farah murmured, gone at the right time, if you ask me. Chat message 8. Amir and Adam were jerks. I'm glad they're out of our lives. Chat member 9. Voice note: man, they were legends. Legends who met a legendary end. Farah rolled her eyes. Legends my foot. She looked at Selling and told, God, give 'em a great place in hell. Her phone buzzed, and a smile lit up her face when she saw Alara's name flashing on the screen. Answering the call, she greeted him, hello mister. Farah's phone buzzed, and a smile lit up her face when she saw Alara's name flashing on the screen. Answering the call, she greeted him, hello mister. Alara's voice on the other end held a serious note. Farah, I hope you saw the news. Crimson Lounge, Farah inquired, her curiosity piqued. Alara confirmed it, prompting Farah to close her laptop, preparing for a more serious conversation. Yes, can you tell me if Adam or Amir had any kind of relationship with Ava? Alara inquired. Farah furrowed her brow. Why the sudden interest in Adam and Amir's connection with Ava? Choosing his words carefully, Alara replied, just asking. He couldn't tell anything about the ongoing investigation. Farah didn't pry further and shared what she knew. I didn't see Ava with Amir, but Adam did apologize recently in front of other students in university cafeteria. He misbehaved with Ava. Alara furrowed his brow and leaned back on his chair. Misbehaved. Amir and Adam were infamous. They made girls uncomfortable, leaked private photos, blackmailed them, you name it. Everyone hated them for that. But don't worry, Adam didn't disturb Ava in that way. Farah reassured. Thanks, Farah, for the information. Alara began to express his gratitude. Less than greater than. 01. Cutting him off, Farah insisted, I won't accept thanks like this. 01. Alara sighed. He knew what Farah wanted. Okay, be ready at 7 in the evening today. It became evening. Ibrahim was with Ava the whole day. And they fought with each other more than 10 times. Ava sat at her desk, textbooks spread out in front of her as she focused on her studies. The room was filled with the hushed ambience of her concentrated efforts. Ibrahim entered, his presence immediately drawing her attention away from the textbooks. Time to go, baby girl, Ibrahim declared, leaning against the door frame. Ava glanced at the clock, her expression unyielding. Ibrahim, I've told you, my exams are in a month. I can't just drop everything. Crossing his arms, Ibrahim's gaze bore into her. Exams won't change anything. You're coming with me to Rahman Mansion. Ava sighed, meeting his determined stare. Ibrahim, I need to study. I can't compromise on my exams. Stepping closer, Ibrahim's tone grew firm. Your exams can wait, but I can't. Rahman Mansion is your priority now. Ava shook her head. Ibrahim, I can't study there. I need my books, my notes. I can't just leave everything behind. But Ibrahim was Ibrahim, his patience waning. Ibrahim stated, you can study there. I'll make sure you have everything you need. Ava resisted again. No, Ibrahim, I need this month to prepare. I promise I'll come willingly after my exams. Ibrahim's resolve strengthened. No more waiting. You're coming with me now. I won't repeat, Ava. You have stayed here enough. Ava was refusing to back down. My home is where I choose it to be. And right now, it's here, preparing for my exams. Ibrahim took a deep breath. Ava, I won't repeat myself. Pack your things. We're leaving. Your place is with me. Ava threw the pen in the corner in frustration. Fine, if you won't help me, I won't go. Ibrahim raised an eyebrow. You think I can't make you go? Ava, you're underestimating me. Ava shot back. Her anger was overcoming her sadness. Mr. Rahman, don't play games with me. If you don't help, I won't go. Ibrahim chuckled. He was still leaning against the doorframe. Suit yourself. I'm not going to help you. Men like me don't engage in packing things, we've got more important matters to attend to. I've already done enough by making coffee for you this morning. Ava shot him a disbelieving look. Coffee, Ibrahim, that's not even comparable. Ibrahim raised an eyebrow, a sly smile playing on his lips. Well, you didn't seem to mind when you were sipping on it. Ava huffed, standing up from her desk. This is different, Ibrahim. I can't pack my entire life in a suitcase alone. And you can't just order me around. Ibrahim pushed himself off the doorframe, approaching her. Is that a challenge, baby girl? Ava's eyes narrowed. Call it what you want, but I'm not leaving without my things, and I'm not packing 'em alone. The room hung in a tense silence as their eyes locked in a silent battle of wills. Their eyes continued to lock. Ava, despite her anger, held her ground, refusing to yield to Ibrahim's dominance. It was a moment of defiance that surprised even Ibrahim. After a brief yet intense eye fight, Ibrahim broke the silence. You're quite stubborn, Ava. Ava smirked. I learned from the best. Ibrahim leaned in closer and whispered, You're playing a dangerous game, Ava. Ava stepped back but managed to control her body language. Maybe I'm liking to play dangerous games. Ibrahim shook his head with a reluctant sigh, finally conceded. Fine, I'll help you pack. 01. .. In the Rahman mansion. Ibrahim opened the door of their new room and allowed Ava to enter first. Ava stepped in and she immediately noticed this room differed from their previous abode. The walls were adorned with light lavender and white hue. A small reading nook adorned with comfortable chairs. 2 beds stood opposite each other, a double bed and a single bed. The bedding matched the overall theme. It was a stark contrast to the dark theme of their previous room, and Ava appreciated the change. Ibrahim stood near the door, watching her reaction with a faint smile. The attention to detail in the room's decor did not escape Ava's notice. The colors, the arrangement, everything seemed to resonate with her taste. Ibrahim couldn't resist sharing a bit of the effort behind the transformation. I personally decorated the room. Turning to Ibrahim, Ava raised an eyebrow. Alone? Ibrahim sighed. Well, Faisal helped a bit. Ava smiled and walked around the room. I knew it. The room looks good. Ibrahim closed the door behind him, the latch sliding into place with a definitive click. He turned to face Ava. I helped you pack your things, and now it's time for your payment. Ava stopped and turned at Ibrahim. Payment? Ibrahim wore a mischievous smile and began to inch closer to Ava. And Ava instinctively started to back away. He was well aware of Ava's unease when he got too close. Now he wants enjoy the fear in Ava's eyes. Oh yes, payment, you know the terms, baby girl. He teased, advancing further. Stay where you are, Ava warned. She had a feeling where this was going and wasn't entirely comfortable with it. She knew Ibrahim's tendency to assert his dominance, and it always made her uneasy. But Ibrahim continued his slow advance. You're always so skittish, Ava. Why so scared? 01. I'm not scared, I just don't want you near, Ava said, maintaining a safe distance. She stopped in the corner of the wall. Ibrahim smirked and quickened his pace. Ava tried to go to right side for escape, but he caught her by the waist. You're becoming quite stubborn nowadays, Ava. I think it's time someone taught you a lesson." Ava struggled against his grip, protesting, "Let go, Ibrahim. This isn't right. I don't need any lessons from you." "Oh, but you do, Ava. Soft talking won't make you agree to what I have in mind. Sometimes, a firmer approach is needed in your case." Ibrahim replied with a smile. His presence loomed over her. Ava was trapped in Ibrahim's cage. Ava tried to wriggle out of his hold, but Ibrahim held her firmly. He continued, "Tomorrow, I'm throwing a celebration party. I've never given a reception party, and I want everyone in Kuala Lumpur to know that you are my wife." Ava resisted. "I won't go, Ibrahim. I don't want to be paraded around like some trophy." Ibrahim moved his face closer to her ears. "You know, resisting won't change anything. I always get what I want. And you will say yes. I won't be controlled by you, Ibrahim." Ava could feel Ibrahim's fingers on her waist through her clothes. His fingers traced the delicate outline of her waist through the fabric of her clothes. Ava could not deny the shivers that ran down her spine at his touch. Ibrahim was really amused by Ava's resistance, chuckled, controlled. "No, Ava, it's about you understanding your place." His hands, still exploring her waist. Ava's frustration grew. She pushed against his chest, attempting to create a barrier. "I won't be a pawn in your games." Ibrahim cornered her against the wall, his hands firmly placed on either side. His gaze bore into hers, a silent challenge. "This is not a game, Ava. Agree to attend, or—" Ava was still trying to create some space between them. "I won't agree to this party just because you've cornered me here." With a bold move, Ibrahim moved even closer, his lips dangerously close to hers. "Maybe this will change your mind," he murmured, attempting to kiss her. Ava caught off guard. She didn't want to happen that. She turned her head to avoid the kiss. "I won't." Ibrahim cut her off. "Agree to the party. Perhaps this will help you decide." Ava hesitated. "Ibrahim, don't." She was facing to the right side. If she made her head straight, this would be their second kiss. Ibrahim traced a finger on her jawline, deliberately aiming to make her uncomfortable. "Just say yes, Ava." Ava reluctantly whispered, "Fine, I'll go to your stupid party." Ibrahim won this time too. He satisfied, stepping aback with his triumph smile. "See, that wasn't so hard, was it?" Ibrahim traced a finger on her jawline, deliberately aiming to make her uncomfortable. "Just say yes, Ava." Ava reluctantly whispered, "Fine, I'll go to your stupid party." Ibrahim won this time too. He satisfied, stepping aback with her triumph smile. He told, "See, that wasn't so hard, was it?" Ibrahim went towards the bed and sat on it. He saw Ava straighten herself against the wall and her eyes shooting daggers at him. Unable to contain her frustration, mocked him, "Hope you are happy now." Ibrahim, without missing a beat, replied, ecstatic. Ava clenched her fists in anger. The urge of burning this new room was again popped in her mind. She shook her head and walked towards the door and forcefully slammed it shut, the sound echoing her frustration. Heading down the stairs, Ava intended to find solace on the rooftop, away from Ibrahim's presence. But she stopped when someone called her name, "Ava." Ava turned and saw Alia busy setting the dinner table with Aziza and Yasmin, the maids. Alia approached Ava. "How are you?" Ava forced a smile, responding, "I'm good." She couldn't let her inner anger show, especially not to Alia, who had always shown her care. "When did you come?" Alia inquired. "Less than greater than 01. Ava replied, "Just half an hour ago." 01. Alia suggested, "Let's have dinner, it's getting late." The Rahman family gathered at the dining table: Alia, Samir, Ibrahim, and Ava. The table was adorned with the finest Malaysian dishes. "I hope you're enjoying the food, Ava," Alia told. On the other hand, Ava was not eating. She was playing the food with spoon. She only responded Alia with a nod. Not only Alia noticed Ava's reaction, Samir too. They both glanced each other. It wasn't new for them to see her reaction. They thought Ava would be used to in Rahman Mansion. But it wasn't. "So, Ava, about tomorrow's party," Samir began, "any specific theme you have in mind?" Ava looked up briefly, her gaze meeting Samir's. She replied with a simple, "No. I was thinking about a vintage theme." "What do you think, Mum?" Samir asked. "Oh, that sounds wonderful. Vintage can be elegant and stylish with sophistication," Alia responded. Samir continued, "And Ava, what about you? Do you like the idea?" Ava, not looking up from her plate, responded, "Sure." Ibrahim noticed her lack of interest. He focused on his food. Sometimes he also joined conversation. But Ava hardly say 2 or 3 words. He didn't force her though. It will take time, but she'll get used to. He looked at Ava's plate. She had not eaten much. She was playing with her food with spoon. She twirled the pieces of chicken in her plate with the spoon from right to left, up to down. Ibrahim shook his head. He really married a kid. He prepared a bowl of chicken soup and extended the bowl toward her. Ava stopped playing and looked at him with death glare. She shot him a gaze that could freeze time. Unfazed, Ibrahim avoided eye contact, letting the bowl hover in her direction. She took it from his hands, her fingers brushing against his momentarily. And Ibrahim smiled slightly. On the other hand, Samir and Alia were busy in their gossip. The door of the lift slid open, and Alara stepped onto his floor. The hallway was quiet, the dim lights casting a soft glow on the polished tiles. As he approached his apartment, he noticed a figure sitting on the stairs, bathed in the faint light streaming from the corridor. To his surprise, it was Farah. She was leaning against the wall, her eyes closed, seemingly lost in sleep. Oh no, she was waiting for him here. They have planned to outside in the evening. But Alara got busy and he forgot about their plan. God knows how many hours she might have spent here waiting for him. Alara gently reached out and shook her shoulder. Farah stirred, her eyes fluttering open to meet his. "Finally, he comes," she said, a playful half-smile forming on her lips. Alara sighed, "Sorry for making you wait. Let's get you home. We will go outside another day." Farah, however, seemed undeterred by the late hour. "Earlier, we talked about going out. It's still evening," she suggested. Alara chuckled. "It's midnight, Farah. Going out at this hour isn't a good idea." "Then I want to stay with you tonight," she declared. Alara furrowed his brow. Farah, that's nonsense. Ava isn't here, and we can't stay under the same roof. Farah's expression shifted from playful to frustration as she grabbed the collar of Alara's shirt, her eyes demanding an explanation. Do you have any idea how many hours I've been waiting for you? You can message or call if you are getting late. But you didn't. My legs are aching, and I'm hungry. And why we can't stay together? You always say you see me as a sister, so what's the problem? You never see me as a woman. Now what? I love you, Alara. I really love you. Let me stay with this night. Please. Alara was literally surprised by Farah's sudden outburst. He was blankly looked at her. Oh, one. We can go inside, Alara finally conceded, gesturing toward his apartment door. He couldn't deny the evident fatigue in Farah's eyes and the strain in her voice. Alara unlocked the door, and they entered the apartment. The lights flickered to life as Alara switched them on. He gestured for Farah to sit on the couch, taking a seat beside her. Leaning back, Alara began a lecture. Farah, in our society, there are certain expectations and norms. While I want to respect your independence and freedom, we must also be mindful of the perceptions that others may hold. Unmarried men and women sharing the same living space, especially overnight, can sometimes be misunderstood. It's not about restricting personal choices, rather, it's acknowledging the reality of societal judgments. He continued, there are diverse intentions and perspectives out there. By adhering to these norms, we create a protective shield, ensuring that we're not inviting gossip or unnecessary scrutiny. It's not a judgment on your character or mine, but a recognition of the world we live in. Alara emphasized, I care deeply for you, Farah. I want to protect you from any potential backlash or judgments. Our relationship is valuable, and I want to preserve it with respect and understanding. Sometimes, going through these societal expectations helps us maintain harmony and avoid unnecessary complications in our life. Alara didn't stop here. I'm not saying this to limit anyone's choices. It's about being aware of the environment we live in. We must consider the implications and be mindful of how our actions might be perceived by those around us. In this day and age, there are individuals with ulterior motives. You see, not every man out there has noble intentions. There are those who might take advantage of situations like this. I don't want you, or any woman, to fall prey to such deceit. It's about protecting ourselves from the potential harm that might arise. It's about safeguarding not just our reputations but also our well-being. Farah listened to Alara's whole conversation only to fall in love with him more. Let's get married. Farah's sudden proposal left Alara in a state of surprise. He was teaching her about something serious and this girl was proposing him. Are you okay, Farah? I think you are just hungry. I'll make something to eat. Farah held his hand firmly. No, I'm not hungry. I'm serious. Let's get married. You know how much I like you. Let's get married. Farah, it's not that simple. Marrying someone is a significant decision. You need more time to think about studies, not about marriage. Alara stood up. He was going towards kitchen. But Farah came in front of him. Why not date for a month? Give it a chance, Alara. I can wait, and if, by the end of the month, you don't feel the same way, we can part ways amicably. Alara took a deep breath. Farah, you are upset because I came home late. You know about my job. I'm bound to have late nights due to my work. And there is no schedule for my shift. If we get married, how can you handle it? I'll wait, Alara. I'll be a good wife. I promise. Let's give us a chance for 1 month. Then we can decide, Farah told with a smile. Alara sighed, realizing that Farah was genuinely serious about this proposal. Okay, Farah, let me think about it. Farah's smile widened. She saw Alara went to the kitchen. But little did they know, a big storm was coming in their lives. Sun had just begun to cast its warm glow across Kuala Lumpur, signaling the arrival of a new day. Faisal was inside his car, staring at Kuala Lumpur University's entrance. He glanced at the clock, realizing he had been waiting for an hour. Tapping his fingers nervously on the steering wheel, he stared at the sealed envelope in his hands, the rejection form for Ava's scholarship. He tried to submit Ava's rejection form earlier, but he got busy with Ibrahim. But he couldn't delay, otherwise Ava will come to know about her scholarship. The university has already started the process for the final list of students who had applied for scholarship. Yet, he found himself stuck in a moral quagmire, torn between loyalty to Ibrahim and the genuine desire to see Ava succeed. In the meantime, his phone buzzed, shattering the silence. Faisal received. Hey, Faisal, where are you? Samir's voice crackled with urgency. I'm just around. I'll be there soon, Faisal replied. Come here, bro. The party preparations are in full swing. We need works to do. Faisal sighed. I know, Samir. I'll be there shortly. Samir insisted. Hurry up. We've got a lot on our plate. Closing the call, Faisal took a deep breath. Under the scorching noon sun, Rafi Ahmed stepped out of the airport, the shimmering heat waves distorting the surroundings. The bustling activity of arrivals surrounded him as travelers hurriedly. Less than greater than 01 moved to their destinations. Rafi's piercing eyes scanned the area, and his tall figure stood out in the crowd, dressed in a charcoal gray long coat that billowed slightly in the light breeze, paired with a meticulously buttoned jeans shirt and black pants. There he noticed Yusuf, his loyal assistant. He was waiting outside the airport. Rafi approached and Yusuf, with a polite nod, opened the car door for Rafi. He settled into the plush leather seat. The car smoothly pulled away from the airport. Sir, how was your flight? Yusuf asked. He was sitting on the driver's seat. Leaning back, Rafi gazed out of the tinted window. Good. While maintaining focus on the road ahead, Yusuf told, Mr. Ibrahim Rahman sends his regards, sir. A quizzical arch of Rafi's eyebrow prompted Yusuf to delve into the details. He's hosting a party tonight, sir. An invitation was sent for you to attend, Yusuf explained, stealing a momentary glance at Rafi. Rafi's lips curled into a bemused smile. Ibrahim Rahman extending an invitation to his sworn enemy. That's an intriguing development. Yusuf nodded, steering the conversation carefully. It seems he wishes to set aside differences, at least for this evening. Rafi reclined in his seat, the leather creaking softly. Ibrahim Rahman and I were not accustomed to breaking bread together. What game is he playing? Yusuf's expression tightened, a hint of uncertainty clouding his gaze. I can't say for certain, sir. Mr. Rahman's intentions remain known only to him. Rafi sighed, idly drumming his fingers on the armrest. Well, attending won't do any harm. It's been a while since I witnessed the grandeur of Ibrahim's gatherings firsthand. The car was going the city's lively streets and Rafi closed his eyes for some moments, as if he was thinking something. But after some times, "Yusuf," Rafi inquired, his gaze shifting from the passing buildings to his assistant, "I've noticed you haven't been bringing Aiden to the office lately." "Oh, one." Yusuf's grip on the steering wheel tightened subtly. His 3-year-old son was not near him. "These Rahmans." "Ah, yes, sir. Aiden has been a bit too energetic these days. It's becoming a challenge to manage him at the office." Rafi raised an eyebrow, energetic or mischievous. Yusuf chuckled, "Well, you know how toddlers can be, sir. Always exploring, getting into everything." Rafi's piercing gaze lingered on Yusuf for a moment. "Is that the only reason, Yusuf?" "I've always found the presence of your son to be a pleasant addition to our workspace." Yusuf hesitated, his eyes focused on the road ahead. "There have been some changes in Aiden's routine, sir. He's been more comfortable spending time at home recently." "Very well, Yusuf. Family comes first," Rafi conceded, "but I did bring a few toys for Aiden. Make sure he gets them." "Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Aiden will be happy too," Yusuf replied. Ava stood before the floor-length mirror, captivated by the reflection staring back at her. The teal gown draped elegantly over her figure, its V neckline adding a touch of allure. The intricate embroidery adorned the dress, creating a mesmerizing pattern. Her long, flowing hair added an extra layer of glamour, framing her face in a cascade of waves. But things took an unexpected turn when Ava turned her attention to the back of her gown. The delicate chain that held the dress together had become entangled with her hair locks. Ava attempted to free her hair with subtle tugs and twists, but the strands remained obstinately entangled. "Why did I let my hair fall like this?" The more she tried to extricate it, the more ensnared it became. In the midst of her struggle, a knock echoed through the room. Ibrahim's voice resonated from the other side of the door. "Ava, open the door. We don't have all night." "Oh, one." Ava huffed, her fingers delicately tracing the stubborn chain. "Just a minute, Ibrahim. I'm almost done." Ibrahim persisted, "You've been in there for ages. Open the door." Ava, now slightly flustered, replied, "Just another minute, Ibrahim." Beads of sweat formed on her forehead. Feeling defeated, she finally decided to call for help. "Ibrahim, bring Aziza or Yasmin." Ava waited. She looked her back in the mirror. She really needed help. After a short while, Ibrahim's voice returned. "Aziza is here. Open the door." She felt relieved. She approached the door, carefully clasping the back of her gown to avoid any wardrobe malfunctions. As she opened the door, expecting to find Aziza waiting outside, she was met with an empty hallway. Just Ibrahim was standing there in front of her. Ibrahim had deceived her. "Ibrahim, where's Aziza?" Ava demanded, her irritation evident. Ignoring her question, Ibrahim stepped into the room uninvited. "Why are you taking so much time? We need to leave." "Ibrahim, I said just Aziza. I need her help. She clutched the back of her gown protectively. Ibrahim smirked and closed the door behind him. "Well, Aziza is busy, so you'll have to make do with me." Ava gulped. She would never took Ibrahim's help. "Leave, Ibrahim. I'm not ready yet." But Ibrahim already have noticed her hand on her back. His eyes glinted mischievously as he closed the distance between them. "The chain, huh?" Taking a step closer, he added, "Let me help." "No, nope, never. I'll manage. I will manage somehow," Ava insisted and stepped back. Ibrahim's authoritative tone cut through the air. "Ava, there's no time to waste. We need to reach the hotel soon. Guests are waiting." Ava sighed. She had no other ways now. She cursed under her breath. In front of him she always had to surrender. "Fine." Ibrahim's authoritative tone cut through the air. "Ava, there's no time to waste. We need to reach the hotel soon. Guests are waiting." Ava sighed. She had no other ways now. She cursed under her breath. In front of him she always had to surrender. "Fine." "Turn around," Ibrahim instructed. Ava complied and her internal conflict was palpable. The faint sound of her hesitant gulp underscored the room's charged ambience. Her open back was inviting his gaze. "Why are you trembling so much?" Ibrahim inquired, noticing Ava's physical reaction. Ava was taken aback by his question. I don't like your touch." Despite her discomfort, Ibrahim continued his task. As he freed the last strands, a subtle smirk played on his lips. He willingly traced his fingers along the contours of her back. His fingertips danced delicately along Ava's spine. Closing her eyes in response to the sensations, she involuntarily stopped her breath. His fingertips were cool like a gentle breeze on a winter night. As his fingers worked their way up and down, Ava felt a gentle ebb and flow of emotions. Up and down, his fingers moved like a silent melody. Each touch sent shivers through Ava. She clenched her fists and questioned herself why Ibrahim was doing that. Ava struggled to contain the emotions that his touch stirred within her. She felt a conflicting blend of irritation, discomfort, and an undeniable awareness of his presence. "Why don't you like this touch, baby girl?" Ibrahim inquired. "Less than greater than. Oh, one." But Ava's voice betrayed a hint of frustration, replied, "Don't cross limits, Mr. Ibrahim. I haven't forgotten last night when you had forced to agree for the party." Ibrahim, seemingly unfazed by her warning, completed his task by closing the chain. Ava turned to face him, ready to express her discontent, but before she could speak, Ibrahim interjected, "You look mesmerizing, Ava." As Ibrahim's compliment left his lips, Ava couldn't help but feel a warm flush spread across her cheeks. Blushing, she tried to divert her attention, her eyes now fixed on the intricacies of the room. "Aren't we getting late now?" Ava inquired. Ibrahim has stepped back now. "Let me just wear my suit." Already dressed in a white shirt and black pants, he opened the closet and retrieved a distinctive black suit with intricate patterns. He donned the suit. It seemed tailor-made for him. The suit increased his confident aura more. He always looked handsome in every suits. Ava looked at him for a moment. He was in front of mirror. She, unintentionally captivated by the sight, found herself gazing at Ibrahim. The suit seemed like a second skin. The muscles of his hand hid under the cloth. But Ava quickly averted her eyes. Why was she scrutinizing him so closely? On the other hand, she could still felt his touch on her back. She didn't know why, but every time Ibrahim touched her, the sensation didn't left quickly. Once Ibrahim finished combing his hair, he stood before Ava and declared, "We can go now." The car pulled up in front of the Grand Hotel, the opulent haven. Ava's eyes widened at the sight of the media frenzy. Photographers and journalists surrounded the entrance, eager to capture every moment. She attended many parties, but here she was main attraction. On the other hand, Ibrahim was unfazed by the attention. He turned to Ava, "Don't worry. They'll just click pictures and ask a couple of questions." Ibrahim stepped out from the car and came to Ava's side. He opened the car door, extending his hand to help Ava step out. His touch, a blend of courtesy and possessiveness, did not go unnoticed by the prying cameras. Ava was trying to maintain her composure. She emerged from the car, the train of her teal gown cascading elegantly. 01. Camera flashes illuminated the night, and reporters rushed forward, shouting questions. The media circus began. Reporter 1, "Mr. Rahman, who is this lovely lady with you tonight?" Ibrahim, with a charming smile, replied, "This is my wife, Ava Lim." "Mrs. Lim, how does it feel to be Mrs. Rahman?" "It's a new chapter, and I'm looking forward to it," Ava responded. Ibrahim looked at her. She was not looking uncomfortable. In fact, she was more comfortable and composed than he thought. The flashes continued as Ibrahim guided Ava through the entrance, the whispers and camera clicks fading behind them. The moon hung high in the night sky as Akil, tired but eager, approached his village. He had been away for weeks, working tirelessly in Kuala Lumpur as a freelancer, contributing to a better future for him and his wife, Naila. The gravel crunched beneath his boots as he walked towards the modest house where Naila eagerly awaited his return. Recently he worked as a Lara's informant. The warm glow of the village lanterns illuminated the surroundings. Akil's heart raced with joy as he approached his home. The wooden door creaked open, and Naila, with a radiant smile, stood in the doorway. "Akil, you're finally here. I've missed you so much." Akil embraced Naila. "I missed you, Naila. How have you been?" His eyes were reflecting the joy of coming back to her. With a glow on her face, Naila replied, "I've been good, Akil. The baby and I are waiting for you." Akil, gently placing his hand on Naila's belly, said, "How's our little explorer doing in there?" It was her 7th month. Naila, her eyes reflecting the shared excitement, replied, "Active as always. Wants to say hello to Baba father, I guess." After a tight embrace, they sat down for a home-cooked dinner. 01. You're a magician in the kitchen, Naila. I missed this taste, Akil remarked, savoring the flavors. 01. Naila responded with a playful smile, "Well, someone had to make sure you don't survive on instant noodles in the city." As they enjoyed the meal, Akil's thoughts shifted to their future. "Soon, I want us to be together, here," he said. Naila's eyes glowed with hope as she replied, "I'm looking forward to that day, Akil. Our own little family in Kuala Lumpur." After dinner, as Akil helped Naila tidy up, "I'm saving up, Naila, so that after some time, we can be together properly," Akil shared. Naila looked at Akil while washing the dishes. You're doing so much for us, Akil. I appreciate it more than words can express. Their night continued outside, where they sat under the starlit sky. Akil held Naila close. I promise, we'll have more nights like these. Just us and our family, Akil whispered softly. Naila responded, our love can conquer any distance or difficulty. I believe in us, Akil. Amidst the vibrant atmosphere of the party, Ava and Mia found a quiet corner, away from the swirling crowd. They clinked their glasses of apple juice in a gesture of camaraderie. Ava, do you like the party? Mia asked. Ava couldn't conceal her disdain, rolling her eyes subtly. Absolutely not, she replied with a hint of sarcasm. Mia chuckled, shaking her head. Oh, Ava, now that you're Mrs. Rahman, you should embrace the socialite life. Sipping her apple juice, Ava smirked. I was Ms. Lim before, and now I'm Mrs. Lim. I won't ever be part of those socialites who collect friends just to showcase their latest acquisitions of jewelry and dresses. I'm Ava, Ava Lim, I have my own class. Mia appreciated Ava's straightforwardness. You're really different, Ava. But hey, why don't you join my office? I need a trusted assistant, especially now that I'm pregnant. Can't handle too much pressure. Ava was taken aback by the unexpected offer, raised an eyebrow. Mia, you're a renowned architect in Kuala Lumpur, and I'm just a final-year architecture student. How can I assist you? Though joining Mia's office was not a bad idea. Mia grabbed Ava's hand reassuringly. No worries, dear. Where there's Mia, there's no tension. I'll guide you and help you along the way. Taking another sip of her apple juice, Ava replied, Okay, I'll think about that. The music pulsed through the air as Ava excused herself from Mia, citing a visit to the washroom. Going through the lively crowd, she made her way through the elegant venue. But while going, she accidentally bumped into a tall figure, and the stranger, holding a wine glass, seemed momentarily startled as the equilibrium of the glass wavered dangerously. His wine glass tilted and the wine fell on the man's pristine white coat. The music pulsed through the air as Ava excused herself from Mia, citing a visit to the washroom. Going through the lively crowd, she made her way through the elegant venue. But while going, she accidentally bumped into a tall figure, and the stranger, holding a wine glass, seemed momentarily startled as the equilibrium of the glass wavered dangerously. His wine glass tilted and the wine fell on the man's pristine white coat. Ava's heart skipped a beat as she watched the impending disaster unfold. The man, revealed to be Rafi Ahmed, looked down at the wine-stained coat. Ava rushed to apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. However, Rafi managed a reassuring smile. No harm done. It's just a coat. Accidents happen. Ava was relieved by his response. She didn't know the person was. And the main thing was that he didn't make a scene. Thank you for being so understanding. I'll find a way to make it up to you. Don't worry about it. Let's consider it a memorable encounter. Rafi assured her. Rafi looked at Ava again. You're Ibrahim's wife, aren't you? Ava was a bit surprised by the direct question, nodded hesitantly. Yes, I am. How did you know? Rafi extended his hand for a handshake. I've heard about Ibrahim's recent wedding. I'm Rafi Ahmed, a great friend of the Rahmans. But before Ava could respond to Rafi's hand, Ibrahim came out of the crowd, taking Rafi's hand into a firm shake, followed by an unexpected hug. "Rafi, my man. It's been a while. You know how it is, Ibrahim. Always busy with business," Rafi replied while patting on Ibrahim's back. "Less than greater than. Oh one." Once they broke apart, Ibrahim stated, "Good to see you here, Rafi. Enjoying the party?" "Oh one." Matching Ibrahim's tone, Rafi replied, "Always, your gatherings have a unique charm." Now Ava was feeling like an outsider. "I'll leave you gentlemen to your conversation." With that she went towards her destination. Ibrahim watched Ava as she stepped away and went. Ibrahim's gaze hardened and his early friendly manner has gone. He turned his head slowly towards Rafi. Ibrahim's stern expression were visible to Rafi under the lights. "You seem to be getting a bit too close to my wife, Rafi." Ibrahim's voice carried a subtle warning. But Rafi maintained his casual facade in front of Ibrahim. "Ibrahim, my friend, we were just talking. No harm in that." Ibrahim's eyes narrowed. "One more time, Rafi, and you won't just lose a conversation partner. Lay eyes on Ava again, and I won't just take off your eyes, I'll make sure you never see daylight again." Rafi managed a smug smile. "Why, you're always so possessive. Can't I even handle a bit of admiration?" Ibrahim's jaw clenched, his tone now an ominous whisper. "Watch your tone, Rafi. I won't hesitate to bury you alive if you cross that line. Ava is my wife, not some object for your amusement." Rafi chuckled. "Ah, Ibrahim, but can you blame me? You found yourself a gem, young, beautiful, and so milky." Rafi indicated Ava, baiting Ibrahim further. This teasing remark struck a nerve, and Ibrahim's controlled demeanor cracked. His jaw tensed as anger flared in his eyes. Ibrahim took a deep breath. He took a step closer, closing the distance between them. "You are crossing line now, Rafi. Remember, I'm not a person who just give threats. I'll make sure you regret the day you even thought about Ava. I will suggest to choose your words very carefully. You're not untouchable, no matter who you are. This is my warning." With that, Ibrahim stormed inside the hotel looking for Ava. His jaw was clenched and his fists were tightly balled. His usually calm nature were now ablaze with an intense anger that seemed to emanate from every pore. Outside, the party continued, blissfully unaware of the tempest that brewed within Ibrahim. The laughter, the music, and the clinking of glasses painted a stark difference to the turmoil in Ibrahim's mind. He spotted Samir near the stairs. Samir was walking right to left and left to right with his phone in hand. Ibrahim approached with a furrowed brow. "What are you doing here? You should be outside at the party," he demanded. Samir looked at his elder brother, waiting for Asman's call. Samir approached Ibrahim and whispered, "Tonight, Asman will finish Akil." When Ibrahim heard that, he felt Samir has dropped bomb on him. His world momentarily shattered. "What?" Ibrahim questioned. "Who authorized this?" Samir confessed, "I did." Ibrahim's fury erupted. "Did you even think to consult me before giving such an order?" Samir stammered an explanation. "I thought you were busy, so." Ibrahim's sharp interruption cut through Samir's explanation. "Call Asman now and tell him to abort the operation. If Akil suffers even a scratch, I'll make sure Asman loses more than an arm. And remember, you will pay for that, Samir. Samir hastily pulled out his phone, fingers furiously tapping to connect with Asman. Samir hastily pulled out his phone, fingers furiously tapping to connect with Asman. Ibrahim, seizing the phone from Samir, demanded, "Where are you, Asman?" Asman responded, "Heading to Akal's house, sir." Ibrahim's firm tone cut through, "Turn back. I don't want Akal dead. If anything happens to him, you will pay dearly." "Okay, sir." Handing the phone back to Samir, Ibrahim's gaze hardened. "For your impulsive decision." 01. However, their conversation halted abruptly when the tapping of heels echoed through the lobby. Both brothers looked at the stairs. Ava was descending the stairs. Ibrahim quickly changed, his demeanor shifted from anger to a more composed and calm exterior. He couldn't show his anger nature to Ava. Ava came down and beside Ibrahim. She noticed something tensed nature between both brothers. And she also noticed the sweat beads formed on Samir's forehead. "What happened, Samir? Why do you look so tense?" Ibrahim interjected, "Nothing, just a discussion." Samir attempted to shift the focus. "You look stunning, sister-in-law. You both carry on, I'll join the party." With a nod, Samir made a quick exit. Ava's furrowed her brows as she watched Samir's departure. She usually saw Samir in cheerful mood. She shook her head and internally thought there are some problems with him. She looked at Ibrahim. "When are we leaving? I'm feeling so boring at this party." Ibrahim asked, "Boring?" Ava affirmed her feelings. "Yes, tired of meeting these elites and listening to your good deeds from them." "So, are they talking about me?" Ibrahim asked. Ava rolled her eyes and recounted the praises she had been hearing. "Everyone is a fan of you. You're so intelligent, so handsome, the best husband. So disgusting. I'm tired of it all." Ibrahim couldn't help but smirk. "Am I not charming and handsome?" "Ha, not even 1%. Ava responded. Ibrahim chuckled at Ava's response. "Well, I guess I have some work to do then." Ava asked, "Work? To be handsome?" She shook her head. Ibrahim held Ava's hand with a gentle grip and suggested, "Let's go. I have to show you something." Ava observed his touch but questioned, "What?" Ignoring her question, Ibrahim led her up the stairs. Ava, slightly resistant, asked, "Where are we going?" Ibrahim responded, "To see something interesting."